So sitting third from the bottom in a group that has 4 teams with only 4 points amassed from a possible total of 12. Zambia play Mauritania this Saturday, and then days later they travel to play Tunisia. There's still a lot of importance that has been placed on this match, and questions have been raised. Some people say, well, it's a dead rubber, so why call all these foreign-based players? Why so much emphasis on this game? But then, from where I stand from, I think, like I've kept saying several times, I don't really embrace the term dead rubber because while it might be considered a dead rubber, I think there are always reasons as to why all matches must be taken seriously, especially international A-grade matches for that matter, matches that are in a qualifying campaign. And so I think it's important that we basically look at why so much importance is being placed on this match. A few lessons that we would have picked up to this point in this qualifying campaign, as well as what should happen next. When we look at the importance of this match, I think there's what I term general importance, and then on the other side what I term football-related importance. The general importance is that the outcome of this match, or these two matches actually, will affect the ranking. That is the FIFA ranking and the CAF ranking. Now, I know people say the rankings don't really matter much. Well, they do. One of the things that they really affect is the seeding when you are getting into a qualifying campaign. And so the reason why Zambia was not the strongest team in this group is because according to the ranking, they didn't merit to be the seeded team, and that's one of the reasons why Tunisia, where they considered the fairly stronger side in this group, and so the ranking will in turn affect the seeding. And for the sake of the ranking, the sake of the seeding, which is not just going to affect matters now, but even in the foreseeable future, it's important that these two matches are taken as seriously as possible, because they affect the ranking, which in turn affects the seeding, and the seeding affects a lot of these things, World Cup qualifiers, AFCON qualifiers, and a few other things that you would want to pay attention to. Now, crucially, on the football side, among the things that this match presents an opportunity for coordination and chemistry in a team. Now, you've kept hearing this story of saying, building a team, and things of that sort. The fact is that at any level that you want to look at football, coordination and chemistry in a team are always going to be important. And so each and every particular match presents that opportunity to build on the chemistry, to build on the coordination in the team, because it is that chemistry, it is that coordination that will be required in the next series of qualifiers, which would be for the next AFCON, the next World Cup qualifiers, and all other matches that the team is going to play in. So the coordination can only be built on by taking such opportunities. I speak of coordination and chemistry because it goes a long way in winning things. It goes a long way in winning things. We ourselves know the value that we got from chemistry from the team that won the 2012 AFCON, and so we cannot even look much further for an example when we have an example to team in-house. On the other side, a match like that is important for the confidence of the players. Look, the fact is that over the last 24 months or even beyond that, there hasn't been much joy coming from this team, from the Chipolopolo. And so part of that is that the levels of confidence have been bad, but a match series like this one presents an opportunity for the team to increase its confidence. A good result in this series of the two matches, then you never know how far that goes as far as giving this team confidence is concerned, and how much it will affect future results. Remember, if you're going to play a team that has confidence, the chances of you winning are very high. The chances of you getting whatever you desire from such a match and the series are ever going to be very high, because of the high confidence that you have, and confidence only comes with winning, and winning comes with playing. So it has to be taken as a very serious engagement. On the other side, a series of games like this one presents an opportunity for new combinations and ideas to be tried. Sometimes the combinations and ideas might not really be new. There might be some that have been in the process, and so you just want this combination to move a notch higher from this notch, maybe on to a higher notch, and this match presents, the next match and the next other match presents such an opportunity for these combinations and ideas to be tried, to be further polished, and things like that. Because look, football is about ideas, and these ideas are seen through particular combinations. Models are seen through ideas and through certain combinations, and so it is an A-grade fixture that gives you an opportunity to assess that and gives you a true picture of exactly where you may be. On the other side, additionally, matches like this present an opportunity for players to stake their claim, really. And when I say this, I think one player that comes to mind is a guy like Tostan Sabata. He's on a run of about, he's on a run of 3 clean sheets in a series of 4 games. What that tells that this is a guy that is high on confidence. But then we know that his capabilities have been doubted at the senior national team, chiefly because of some of the outputs he's put up. He's a person that will blow hot and cold, but then from the time that he moved to South Africa, it seems to be more stable, and so you'll be hoping that a match like this presents him an opportunity to stake his claim in the team. A few other players as well will come to mind when you think of this, because this team for a long time hasn't had one of the reasons why it hasn't had a lot of consistency is because certain players, you never know what side of them will turn up on a particular match day. But a game like this gives them a chance to actually prove doubters wrong and prove to themselves and to others that really they merit being part of this senior national team. Additionally, and crucially, on the side of the coach, a match series like this gives an opportunity for a coach to see certain detail about their team. Now, from a coaching background and a coaching perspective, every match that your team plays will always reveal something to yourself about your team. It will reveal something to yourself about the collection of players you have, that is, both your weaknesses and your strengths. On the other side, it reveals to you what needs to be worked on or what needs to be improved on. It can also give you an indication of what can be done differently. And so there's a lot of richness that is presented by this opportunity to play in these two matches, and so they must be taken as seriously as possible, because they will actually reveal a lot to the coach about his team, about his players, about his own methods as well, and about his own ideas. And so I think those are some of the reasons why this match series has to be taken seriously. Moving on, I spoke about lessons earlier. I know the qualifying campaign is not yet done, but even at this point, we are able to draw some lessons from what has already been seen. Chief among the lessons that come to mind for me is that the lesson is that we must learn to appoint coaches early enough, appoint coaches when the time is ripe enough, so to give them time to prepare adequately. The appointment of coaches goes a long way as far as selections are concerned and directions are concerned. Now, remember, the senior national team plays in a lot of competitions. There's the COSAFA, AFCON, World Cup qualifiers, friendly series, and a few other competitions. So when you have a coach in place in good time, the coach will be able to plan adequately and the class of players is going to use in is it in the COSAFA, in this kind of competition and the other kind of competition. Similarly, it helps the coach identify quite early enough the kind of team that is going to work with, and just repeatedly build on that team. Look, in football, building is an ongoing process, but then literally it is an ongoing process. But then to narrow it down, what it means is that you're always going to have something that is concrete, but then you just keep adding to it, you keep refueling, you keep refreshing this side. And so when you appoint a coach early enough, I think it helps in the thought process. The coach will know at what point to do what, who to invite, and things like that. Among the reasons why we've had a lot of a high turnover of players in the national team over the last is it 24 months or is it 36, is because of this high turnover of coaches. So we need one that is going to be there long term and be appointed for a specific not just a target but a clear mission, and then be led to do what they have to do in that period to score the results of what they are trying to do. On the other side, one of the other lessons that I think could have picked up to this point, even before the qualifying series is done, is that the team hasn't had a spine. What I mean is that there have been a lot of different combinations, starting from the heart of defense. Today you have this player pairing the other day you have this player pairing the other. It doesn't really work well in football that way. Similarly, when you move into midfield, as far as the spine is concerned, in the 4 matches that have been played, I think we've used about three different defensive midfielders. Equally, it doesn't work well in football. I know that someone would argue to say, look, sometimes some of the players were cast away because they were in poor form. But the fact of the matter is, form in itself is not the only determinant as to who should play in a national team. It's just one of the many things that you have to look at. But chiefly, when you're going to look at a spine, you need to have identified a set of players that are going to be in certain position, and then you just keep adding to them. So I think we lacked consistency over this period in terms of certain positions. We played 2 different left backs, Prosper Chiluya, Roderick Awe at some point. You've had Dixon Chapa in the heart of midfield. You've had Boyd Msonda in the heart of midfield. So a lot of things that you would want to look at. The other lesson, I think, that keeps coming back, both at international football and club football, is that you must always learn to win your home matches in a qualifying campaign. In the 2 matches that have been played so far, one was drawn and one was lost. That in itself makes the mountain way higher, too hard to climb, and that is one of the reasons why we found ourselves in this situation, is chiefly because we could not win our home games. Had we won both our home games and combined it with the away result we got in Mauritania, would have been saying that we're actually on the cusp of making it to the next round, but we haven't been able to. And so this is a lesson that keeps popping up every now and then for both the senior national team and our club sides. Another lesson that that comes to mind is that we've exhibited bits of immaturity in certain instances, and then we'll need maturity going forward. The Prince Mumba red card comes to mind in the away fixture. The nature in which we allowed goals in the last 15 minutes against Equatorial Guinea here at home. The nature in which we allowed goals against Tunisia at home. The nature in which we allowed the away goal in Mauritania. All those, in a lot of ways, speak to a lack of maturity in certain instances and at certain points when players needed to exhibit certain levels of maturity, to hold on to a lead and maybe basically to retain a point that we might have held at a particular time. And so those are some of the lessons that I think I've picked up to this point. I know there might be a few others, but I think those chiefly come to mind. And so qualifying campaign is not yet done, but I think wouldn't be too far from looking at what should be done next, because this one has been unsuccessful. We've picked the lessons, so what should be done next? Obviously, the first thing is that a long-term coach has to be appointed as soon as possible. We know that Coach Besson Chambers was just given a 3-month contract. We don't know what the direction is going to be thereafter. But then I think as soon as possible, just after these 2 matches are done, I think a coach has to be installed, given a long-term project, a long-term goal at which to target and hopefully get results from then on. Another important thing that we have to do, which has been done over the last few years, is that we must ensure to remain competitive in the FIFA window and engage the team as much as possible to build on, remember the factors I spoke about earlier, things like the coordination, synergy in the team and things of that sort. You need to remain active in the FIFA window, as well as keep increasing your ranking, really. Play as many competitive friendlies as possible with competitive sides, and that will keep making the team better. Another important thing that we have to do, I think, is identify a spine for the team. Whichever coach you have to come in, identify which spine, identify who his first choice goalkeeper will be, what his primary centre back pairing will be, who he will play at the base of midfield, who will play in the engine room, and then who will be able to get the goals up front. When you identify the spine, then you can easily add, a few other players to keep the machine rolling, for any particular match that comes along. And so for this day, I think that's it. I was hoping that I would have taken less than 10 minutes, but look, it's a game of football. It's something we never get tired of discussing. Ideas keep coming here and there, but briefly, I just thought I would share. I think why this match holds a lot of importance, the lessons that would have been picked up to this point, and a glimpse into what should be next. Thanks for taking your time to watch. Until next time, bye bye.